If there's one haunted doll that has terrified millions of people around the world, it's Annabelle. But here's the twist, the real Annabelle doesn't look anything like the creepy porcelain doll from the movies. In reality, she's just an ordinary Raggedy Ann doll with a simple smile. Yet according to one of the most famous paranormal stories ever told, this innocent-looking toy became the center of a series of terrifying events that still spark debate today. The story began in the early 1970s, when a nursing student reportedly received the doll as a gift. At first, nothing seemed unusual. But after a few days, she and her roommate claimed the doll started appearing in different places around their apartment. They insisted they would leave Annabelle sitting on a bed, only to find her later on a chair, in another room, or standing in positions they were certain they had never placed her in. Then things became even stranger. They allegedly found handwritten notes that read, "Help us," even though they didn't keep the type of paper anywhere in the apartment. Soon after, one of their friends claimed he was physically attacked by an unseen force after mocking the doll, leaving him with mysterious scratches across his chest. Frightened by what they believed was happening, the women contacted paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. After examining the case, the Warrens reached a shocking conclusion. They claimed the doll wasn't possessed by the spirit of a little girl, as many people originally believed. Instead, they said a malicious entity was pretending to be an innocent child, only to gain the owner's trust. Believing the doll was extremely dangerous, the Warrens removed it from the apartment. They sealed it inside a specially built glass case with a chilling warning. Positively do not open. Today, the real Annabelle remains one of the most famous haunted objects in the world. Skeptics argue that the entire story can be explained by coincidence, suggestion, or urban legend. Believers, however, see it as proof that some objects may carry something far darker than we can understand. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain. The legend of Annabelle continues to haunt people, even decades later. Robert the Doll. Imagine walking past your child's bedroom late at night, and seeing a doll staring back at you from a completely different spot than where you left it. That's exactly the kind of nightmare that made Robert the Doll one of America's most infamous paranormal legends. For more than a century, people have claimed this doll isn't just creepy, it's watching. The story dates back to the early 1900s in Key West, Florida. A young boy named Robert Eugene Otto received the doll as a gift and loved it so much that he even gave it his own first name, Robert. At first, it looked like an ordinary childhood toy. But according to family stories, strange things soon began happening inside the house. Furniture was reportedly found knocked over, objects seemed to move on their own, and neighbors claimed they saw the doll standing in different windows when no one else was home. Whenever something went wrong, the boy would calmly say, "Robert did it." At first, everyone thought he was just making excuses, until the unexplained incidents kept piling up. As the years passed, the legend only grew darker. Visitors claimed the doll's expression appeared to change when they looked away, while others believed its head or hands had moved on their own. Today, Robert is displayed inside a museum in Key West, where he continues to attract thousands of curious visitors every year. One of the strangest parts of the legend is the belief that you should ask Robert for permission before taking his photograph. According to countless stories shared by visitors, those who ignored this so-called rule later blamed the doll for bad luck, mysterious accidents, illnesses, or other unsettling experiences. Many even wrote apology letters, hoping the strange events would finally stop. Of course, there's no scientific evidence proving Robert is truly haunted. Skeptics see the stories as myths fueled by imagination and coincidence. But for believers, Robert the Doll is far more than a forgotten toy. Whether you see him as a harmless antique or something far more disturbing, his chilling legend continues to leave people wondering if some childhood toys should never be brought to life. Okiku Doll. What if a doll could do something that shouldn't be possible, even under scientific observation? Hidden inside a quiet temple in Japan sits a small traditional doll known as Okiku. Unlike most haunted doll legends, this story isn't about moving objects or ghostly attacks. Instead, it revolves around one terrifying mystery that has puzzled people for decades, a doll whose hair is said to keep growing. The legend began in 1918, when a young boy bought the doll as a souvenir for his little sister, Okiku. She quickly became attached to it, carrying it everywhere she went. But only a short time later, the little girl reportedly died after falling ill. Heartbroken, her family placed the doll on a small household altar to honor her memory. Then they noticed something impossible. The doll's short, neatly cut hair appeared to grow longer over time. According to the family, they trimmed it more than once, yet it allegedly continued to grow back. Eventually, the doll was entrusted to Manenji Temple, where it remains today. The caretakers have continued looking after it for decades, and the story of its growing hair has spread far beyond Japan. Some believers claim the spirit of young Okiku still resides within the doll, while others think there must be a natural explanation that has yet to be fully understood. Over the years, the legend has inspired countless investigations, documentaries, and paranormal discussions, but no single explanation has convinced everyone. Whether the hair truly grows on its own or the story has become larger than reality is still a matter of debate. Skeptics believe the legend has evolved through generations of storytelling, while believers point to the doll as one of the world's most mysterious paranormal artifacts. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is undeniable: the legend of the Okiku doll continues to fascinate and unsettle people around the world. Mandy, the doll that visitors refuse to stand near. Not every haunted doll is famous because of violent attacks. Some become legendary simply because of the unsettling feeling they leave behind. Mandy is one of those dolls. Locked inside a museum in Canada, she has gained a reputation for making visitors feel uneasy long before they even hear her story. Mandy is an old porcelain doll believed to have been manufactured in the early 1900s. In the early 1990s, her former owner donated the doll to the Canal Museum in British Columbia after claiming she could no longer keep it in her house. According to the owner, she often heard the sound of a baby crying in the middle of the night, and the crying would mysteriously stop whenever Mandy was moved. Unable to explain the strange experiences, she decided to give the doll to the museum. But the stories didn't end there. Over the years, museum staff and visitors have shared unusual experiences of their own. Some claimed they felt as if they were being watched while standing near Mandy. Others reported sudden feelings of anxiety or discomfort for no obvious reason. There have also been stories that cameras, batteries, or other electronic devices unexpectedly stopped working while people were trying to photograph the doll. Although these incidents have never been scientifically proven to be connected to Mandy, they have helped build her eerie reputation. Today, Mandy remains one of the museum's most talked about exhibits. Skeptics argue that every strange experience can be explained by coincidence, expectation, or the power of suggestion. Believers, however, think there's something about Mandy that science still can't explain. Whether she's simply an antique doll surrounded by ghost stories, or something far more mysterious. Mandy continues to leave countless visitors with one unforgettable feeling: they're not completely alone. Letta the doll. Some people believe that certain objects are better left exactly where they are. But in 1972, an Australian man named Kerry Walton made a decision that would change his life forever. While exploring an abandoned house near Wagga Wagga, he discovered an old handmade doll sitting alone in the darkness. It looked forgotten, almost as if it had been waiting for someone to find it. He took the doll home, never imagining it would become one of Australia's most chilling paranormal legends. Walton later named the doll Letta, short for the phrase, "Letta me out." According to his account, strange events began almost immediately after bringing it home. He claimed the doll would sometimes appear in different positions than where he had left it. Small objects reportedly moved on their own, unexplained noises were heard around the house, and visitors often said they felt an overwhelming sense of heaviness or unease whenever they stood near Letta. Some even believed the doll's facial expression seemed to change depending on the angle they looked at it. As the years passed, Letta became the subject of paranormal investigations and television appearances. Walton insisted he never created the stories for fame and maintained that the doll possessed an unexplained energy. Despite countless photographs and interviews, no scientific evidence has ever confirmed that Letta is genuinely haunted. Still, the legend has continued to grow, attracting believers, skeptics, and curious thrill-seekers from around the world. Today, Letta remains one of Australia's most mysterious dolls. Some people see nothing more than an old handcrafted toy surrounded by decades of exaggerated stories. Others believe it's a reminder that not every mystery has an easy explanation. Whatever you choose to believe, one question still lingers. If you had found Letta in that abandoned house, would you have taken it home?